all you're going to need is your stretch strap. I've had a couple of people ask me lengths. 6 foot is longer. It's nicer. So when you order them, if you can get one that is at least, like this one's a good 6 feet. I'm 5'7", and my arm span is longer than 5'7", so I got a good 6 feet going on there. And that way, whenever we do any movements where you're pulling on it, it's not too tight and sort of jams up your joints, because the band can jam if it's too tight. You want to make sure that you're resisting both directions. So the nice of it is that you've got to work the eccentric and concentric contractions to the muscle. So just don't let it control you when you're playing with it, right? Make sure you've got a good hold on it. If you need a headrest, have that close by. Otherwise, just your mat. Find yourself in parallel sits bones. If you're feeling a little tight, maybe go a bit wider. I'm going wider today. And I'm just going to rock back and forth. I'm going to roll those shoulders. Whenever I talk about the tails of the band, it just means that on both sides, I have an equal amount dangling. And that way, I've got a fairly symmetrical resistance in the middle. Just think of gently drawing the abs in, pubic bone, belly button, rib cage. Inhale, nose, exhale, mouth. And don't get stuck on when to exhale or inhale. As long as you're breathing on a base exercise, we're all good. Do think of going east-west breath, though. So keep those feet nice and strong. Let's bring that band up. Have a little bit of tension. I don't want it to be a death grip. I'm going to back up a little bit. And then go ahead and roll it down. Put your hands on your quads as you roll down, just to start with. Find a nice rounded spine and slowly drag it up. Take those arms, and as you bring it around, turn it behind the back. And what I like to do is turn my palm to face out, so that way I can bring it a bit farther down. And then you come all the way back again. Hands are going to the quad initially. Maybe there's a slight turnout. If the hips are a bit tight, down you go. And then slowly come up. Inhale through the nose. A little bit of tension there. Take it around the back. Turn the palms. Maybe a little no on the neckline here. Start to press it, bring it all the way through. If you're feeling good, hands go down to the shins or down you go to the floor, but I am in passive, I am rounded. And then inhale through the nose, bring it up. We're just going to do one more, take it around, rotate the palms, and then bring it up. And this time we're going to go all the way around to the ground if it's in your practice. Otherwise, hands on your quads. Down you go. And go ahead and place your hands on quads, shins, or the floor. Stretch your legs to straight. And then bend the knees. So I'm just going to go up and down here. Right now I'm looking at the floor as I'm pressing. Then as I push the legs, I'm going to look through my legs so my neckline is dangling down at the top of my spine versus being tense looking to the floor. Still bending and straightening. Remember, too much, hands on quads or shins. Leave the knees bent, drop the tailbone, slowly bring it all the way up. Big inhales, you bring it around the corner. Keep it here, turn those palms, keeping neutral spine, neutral pelvis, try not to roll. Just press those arms away. So as you push away into shoulder extension, you'll tend to want to round. Keep nice and strong, and then bring it back. Exhale, press, and bring it back. Now heel toe into a squatting type position. Go one more time. Exhale, press. Now keep the arms dangling and just give me a squat with your hands just reaching a little bit behind the bum. Not too far. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Take a peek at those knees. Make sure they're not knocking in. And you are sending your butt to the back. That doesn't mean your weight is fully on the heels. You've got that 4-point happening in the foot. Now if this feels okay, press it down, stay down, reach the arms, and bring them back. As you reach, watch, you're not turning it into flexion in the spine. So nice and strong. So you're only going to be able to go so deep, and then eventually the spine is going to go into flexion, and we want to stay neutral. So just as deep as you can maintain. Now bring it all the way around, keeping in that neutral. Pull that band a little bit apart, and see if you can find a little bit of balance into the ball of foot. Bunions, arthritis, baby heel lift. Don't compensate for those issues by sickling on your ankle. Keep it strong, don't lift as high. Maybe you can bring that band so that your arms are by your ears, it's a little higher. Maybe you can pull the band, finding a little resistance into the shoulders. Then let that go down. Place your hands on your quads, round your spine to angry cat, and then push it out to neutral. Exhale, stand up just a little bit, tuck your bum under. If you want more stretch, grab behind your quads and tuck. Exhale, neutral. 2 more, angry cat. Find your cow, or your neutral, not really cow. Exhale, angry cat. And on this one, let yourself float all the way down, dangle it, straighten up those legs one more time. Bend the knees, drop the tailbone, curl the spine, roll it as you come up. Stack those shoulders, give them a little roll. Get your feet in parallel sits bones, underhand on your band. Give a little tension with your thumbs pulling out. Find it in sits bones or waistline. From here, abs engaged, and let's go ahead and rotate. Now what will happen is the pelvis will want to go. Keep ASIs to the front, rotate thoracic and cervical, bring it back. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, back. So I want to get all the movements in the spine in the first 3 to 8 minutes of a class just to get nicely warm. And rotation is a major spinal movement, right? Inhale, rotate. Exhale, back. Now this time, inhale, rotate, stay here. Give a little flexion like you're offering out. Reach those arms. Stack that spine to tall. Bring it back to center. Rotate. Give a little offering. Notice one side might be a little tighter than the other. Bring it back up to tall. Bring it to center. Let's get some lateral. I'm going to reach it up. Have a bit more space in my arms. I'm just going to move my mat back. I don't know if my feet are staying in that camera and my arms are. So from here, a little wider, I'm going to teeter-totter over to one side. Pull your bottom arm parallel to the top arm. Pinkies are slicing away, and I'm just going to reach that out. Now, if I've got some shoulder issues, I might need to bend this arm a bit. If I can reach it, I will. I'm going to press away as I lean my hips one direction, and I push my spine out as I reach the arms the other. Now, go ahead and stay with this reach. Actively push the top arm away. Pull the bottom arm a little bit, causing you to maybe get a little bit more flexion. Don't be rough with it. Look down to the floor. Let go of the bottom arm and circle it. Breathe as big as you can into the intercostal muscles on the side. Grab that band, use your obliques, and pull that back up to straight. Bring the arms down, give a little roll, wiggle them out, go back up again, a little bit of tension, lateral the other way. Laterals from left and right usually are quite different. Pull the arm in and just think of both pinkies to the sky, to the floor, as you just sort of slice through the air. Reach your hips one way. Big inhale, exhale. Use the breath to increase that stretch. Stay out there with a little pull. Pull down on the bottom arm. We have arms today. Pull a little deeper. Nice big breath into your intercostals. Let go of the bottom arm. Give a little circle. Gently draw the abs in still. Grab hold of that band. Increase that connection and bring it all the way up. Beautiful. Roll those shoulders. Just take that band and just place it to the side somewhere. We're not going to use it immediately. We will put it back on again. We're going to do some flow without the band. So we're just standing at the very end of your mat. Sits bones difference if you can. Take a reach, come around the corner, bend the knees, hips, ankles. Find the floor, walk out to cat. 4, 3, knees go down on 2 and 1. You square up your hands, uncurl the toes, paddle it out a little bit. And then find shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and just give me some sternum drops. So I'm dropping through my shoulders and I'm pressing away. It is a neutral spine, neutral position. The tendency will be to tuck the tailbone as you push away and untuck as you drop. And we're looking at just the shoulder blades sinking. The head will drop with it. Don't overdrop the head. Now push away so you find some power. And I want you to go into angry cat as you round the spine, look towards your pelvis or your knees. Sit back, see what your knees are going to invite today. Sit back, walk your fingers a little farther forward. I kind of perch them and I reach. Feel the lats engage for a stretch. Come back up into 4-point, rounded, and go through your neutral. Peek up, tailbone goes up, you're in your cow. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, hollow the abdomen. One more time. Sit back on your heels. If you can get all the way back there, do so. Wiggle those fingers forward. If you can't sit all the way back, don't fight it, right? Knees and hips are what they are. Bring it to rounded and lengthen it out. Open it. Find yourself back into neutral. Let's curl the toes. Let's get some heat in the toes. So we're just going to sit forward and backwards. It always takes me a little bit for me to get my toes going. Try to not sickle out on the ankle. And when you're good, you're going to sit back there. You're going to grab that band and you're going to come right up onto the feet not sickling, but strong underneath you, if you can. If it's too much pressure on the knees and the hips to sit here, come taller, okay? Take the band, grab it behind you, grab it as tight as you physically can without feeling your shoulders wrap. Roll your spine to tall, rotate your shoulders open. Now if that's tight, you're grabbing wider. If you don't need the band, grab your hands, right? Like arrow pose. And then we're gonna press that out and bring it back. Press it out, bring it back. Notice as you do this, as you push out, you tend to want to round forward. Brick wall in front of your chest. Stay open. Let's go. 2 more. And down. And last 1. and bring it down. Bring that band just to the front. Actually, leave it back there. I lied. Pull it with both hands, wrap it around your armpits, and get tails. You've got tails. I'm going to keep a 4-point stance here. If I know that my chest is a little bit weaker, through the pec line, I'm going to keep 4-point. If I'm okay, I'll back my knees up a bit, go to supported spine, and pull forward slightly. So we've got some resistance in the band. If it's not enough, tighten it over your shoulders. And we're going to go down, 2, 3, push away. 1, 2, 3, push away. So this is our push-up 2, tier 2. 1, 2, 3, push away. It's inhale, 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 exhale, push away. If this is too difficult, I need you to bring the knees in so you're more in a 4-point stance. If you're rocking it, up come those toes. Up come those knees, sorry. 1, 2, 3, push away. We got 2 more. Inhale, 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 press. Last one, down, 2, 3, push. Drop the knees, uncurl the toes, roll it back and open up that chest line. If that's difficult on the knees, we're opening here. Roll those shoulders. Toss that little baby to the front. Hands engage the mat, curl the toes, little elephant or down dog. Up we come, paddle it out. Paddle it out, play a little bit here. So if your head is right down dropped, this movement through the hips is going to be restricted. Have your head above so you can get the lower half moving first, which means you're not in the stretch on the upper half yet. Paw at that. Now if you can, get both heels down, push your tush away, and now drop into the shoulders. If this is difficult, lift the heels, bend the knees. Feel the shoulder stretch happen here. Give a little no on your neckline. Give a little yes. Your neck should be able to free flow in this position. And then pull your body weight forward over your wrists. So now I'm straight up and I've brought my hands in tighter. I have a slightly supported spine. If I need to, the knees are down. Pouncing cat, forward and backwards. So my modified is through the knees here. Wrists are giving me issues. I can be on an ottoman or some type of little box. If it's feeling good, you are up and you're down and through. Supported spine on this, everything's getting moving. So we're going to add a drive forward of the knee. So as I come forward, I can be on my knees or my feet. I'm going to drive one knee to the outside of my hand. Yep. And then push your hips back, so kind of like a down dog, and drive the other side. Yes. And press it back. Drive it through. Press it back. Drive it through. Press it back. Now this time, drive it through, keep it there. Drop your knee and rotate open. Get that big rotational stretch. Big breath here. Bring the hand back down, bring the knee off, shoot that leg back, drive the other knee, drop it, rotate it open, take a peekaboo, bring that hand back down, press it through, place the knees down, uncurl the toes. You might need to walk your hands forward as you slowly, with control, bring your spine down to the ground. So we're going to go a little bit of floppy here just to wake up that spine. Small lateral rotation, not a massive one. Hands by your thumbs kind of close to your shoulders. Let your booty go, let your belly go. And just kind of press up a little bit, trying to not to lift the pubic bone or clench the butt. Just getting a little bit of that natural movement in the lower back. And then bring it in. The closer my hands are, the more archy I will get. This is about the mobility of the spine. So it's okay to get archy. There will be a little compression sensation in that lower back. If it's too much for you, don't come as high. If you feel your butt cheeks turn on to protect the body, it's too high. Back down a little bit and try again. Now we're going to go to Sphinx to warm up the back. Extensors. Find 11s on your hands. So my arms are reaching out in 11s. Right now my belly's dropping down. What I want to do now is pull from my pubic bone all the way up. And you just saw a spinal change. Right now my back is in more extension than neutral. I'm going to pull up my abs, and that just takes me into a bit of a supported position or a neutral position. Slip your shoulders into your back pockets, kind of peel, but squeeze your elbows like you have little lemons in your armpits, and then look forward. If that bothers the neck, look down. Not a big deal. And then draw those abs in tight. The butt doesn't need to be clenching for all it's worth. We're not lifted that high. It's not supporting us yet. Really think of drawing the abs in. Super hard place to find some big breaths, but let's go there. 3 more. So this is just a sphinx. It's a preparatory. Making those back muscles realize that they are going to help us today. And then turn those elbows out, chest down, hands more into a push-up. Curl the toes and press yourself as natural as it feels up into that down dog again. On the down dog, we're going to walk our feet towards our hands. Bend the knees as you need to. From here, I'm going to bend the knees fully, sneak into ragdoll. I've taken my elbows onto my quads. I don't free flow. If you want to let your arms just dangle, go ahead. Look through your legs. Kind of get a peekaboo on that band to grab. And then slowly bring that up. And release it out. So we're not going to do side lying leg lift series lying. We're going to do it in standing position. So take that and wrap it around your booty. Make a little knot. Make a second knot. Don't death grip it. It'll get tight as you move. And wiggle that down to your ankles. Now, if you have a really loose band, you might want to tie it a bit tighter. If you have really long tails, you might want to kind of bow them or something. You just don't want to trip. So in this one, we want to get glute me, glute min. The automatic reaction is for the legs to go into turnout, and you end up finding hip flexor, piriformis, glute max, and then quad. I want to keep my feet either straight forward, or if I have maybe 5 to 10% of internal rotation in my hip available to me, that is where I'm going to go. And that turns on the glute me, glute min against the resistance, right? So it's either parallel or slightly turned in. And then get down there a little bit and just side touch. Baby, try not to worry about the lift lower. I want it to be about pushing out on the sides so the legs don't come together. If I can, I'll come up on my ball of foot and almost knock my knee in slightly, but that's coming from my hip. And then just bring the arms in. Go ahead and connect into those abs. And if you want, you can just add a little punch for the arms. That's just shits and giggles. You don't have to add that. Do make sure your abs are engaged, but the focus is the legs. Yeah, let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, in this position, we're going to do 2 movements to one side. 1, 2, touch. If you've got a little jump in you, go ahead. The legs are going to want to turn out. Fight that. Internal rotation, small movement. 1, 2, press. Nice and low. So quads, glutes, and hams are working, but so are glute me, glute min, because you're in the turnout. 2 more, and 1, and then back to your singles. But I want you to see if you can touch forward. So touch just off your mat and turn the knee in as you do it. All right? Turn. Turn. Go slow. Turn. Turn. The turn's happening from the pelvis and the hip. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Stand it tall. That'll turn those babies on. If you need a balance point, touch the wall. If you don't, you can free flow or hold a broom. All right? I need the wall. I'm turning. Slight bend to my standing leg. Other leg is straight out from my hip socket. Instead of having my quad forward, I'm having it point to the side of the room. Lift, lower. Side lying lift series in standing. Torso tall. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. So when you're sitting here, try not to be flexed. Long. And just lift, lower. If you wanted to work harder, I could step out and teeter-totter farther down. I'm not going to. I find my standing leg kicks in too much. Both legs are working here. Both legs are saying hello. That standing leg might be saying hello more. That's okay. Go 2 more. And 1. Now go ahead, gently pulse. 5, 4, hold it up there. 3, 2, 1. Sneak that leg out. It's going to feel super light. Hand on the wall, step away from it a little bit more and hinge over more. So remember, it's a hinge, not a flexion. And then give me my circles. So go to the back, squeeze the glute, don't let yourself arch, and move to the front, don't let yourself flex. So the hip is doing just a circumduction or a circle movement. Take your top hand, middle finger on ASIs, thumb on ribs, nothing's happening. I'm not moving the spine, hopefully. Circle the other way. Mind's eye, are you clench gripping your toes? Relax them. 3 more. 2. And 1. And gently come out of that. Give a little booty wiggle. I promise we'll get a stretch. It'll be after. Slide the foot in. Turn and face the other direction. You will have a dumbass side. So remember, the taller I stand, a little less core stabilization is needed. The farther out I go, the more I teeter-totter out. the harder it's going to be because my body then is against gravity. Lift, lower. Standing leg is bent and can be laterally rotated, but the moving leg is straight out from your hip socket. Breathe as you lift. 5, control it. 4, so when you push it up to the high point, hold. Don't just get there and boop, boop, right? 3, 2, 1. Now little baby pulses towards the top half. 8, 7, control it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sneak the leg out. If you want to go out farther for more instability on the core, go ahead. Teeter-totter, and then find your circles, right? So when I went out, I'm just going to go to the side wall. I didn't flex to get there. I hinged, and then I start my circle. So remember, we're keeping the body in a straight between two planes of glass, but we see the leg come forward, and it goes back without flexion extension through the spine. Then circle the other way. So if you want to test the waters, middle finger on ASIs, thumbs on ribs, nothing's happening. Go 2 more. Woo. And last one. And teeter-totter out. Beautiful. We're going to get a little force stretch. Sit your butt against the wall or sit down if you need to. If you've got the balance, you can go to force stretch just in the middle of the room. This hip doesn't like that, so I like support. I put my tush on the ground or I put my tush on the wall. Either or is workable. So don't look at me and kind of go, oh, is that as far as I go? As far as I go. If you've got more, fold forward and get deeper. This is where mine's inviting. If you've got more, go ahead. If you have double pigeon, please go right ahead and go deeper into the stretch. Now, if you're super Gumby and generally unstable, maybe, be careful with how deep you go. You don't need to overstretch. You want to be mindful of that. Come out. Give a few little wiggles and get the other leg set up. Press into that. So if you're anything like me, you have a massive difference between the left and the right. Couple inhales, exhales. Breathe as you go. I'm just rotating my ankle, taking any tension out. Maybe I'll curl my toes and uncurl them. I can play with my feet. Slowly come out of that when you're ready. Find your band, untie it, and find yourself at the very top of your mat. Passive position, nice and wide, laterally rotated, a good shoulder width distance apart, and fight with your band to untie it. So while we're trying to untie our band, go down into a passive squat. If you can get your hands down and get your booty a little lower, if your heels lift, it's fine. If they don't, that's good too. And then bring it up. So I just want you to go up and down 2 or 3 times while I'm fighting with my band. Lower and lift. Nice, strong lower and lift. If your bands ever get sticky, don't wash them. A little bit of talcum powder just does wonders. Just give them a little bit of fluffy talcum powder. Go ahead and stay down here in that position. So if you're tight, the elbows are on your knees and you're going to play. If you're okay, down you go and get some twisty hips happening. Twist it around. Inhale, exhale. My spine is in complete flexion. All good. I'm moving through the knees, hips, toes, ankles, and then go ahead and stay here. Now, if you've got any major spinal issues, you're just going to sit your butt down. If you're okay, you're going to roll like a ball to go down. So I'm going to roll and bring that back up. Beautiful. Scoot your bum back. Put your heels into the corner of your mat. Traditionally, this is done more in a parallel sits bones. I kind of prefer it wide. And take your band. So I've got my legs wide. For a brief moment, I'm going to bring my legs in just a little bit from wide. I'm going to find equal tails. I'm going to loosely press that around the feet. Don't tighten it yet. From there, I'm going to go back out to the corners of my mat. From here, I'm going to do windshield washers. So I want you to check the knees. The knees are not moving here. It is ankles. It's peroneals. So your foot is like a windshield washer going in and out. Comes in, pushes out. It can go past the neutral of out. It'll come in easily. It'll have a hard time going out. So really focusing on that ankle stabilization and movement. While you're going there with that movement, I need you to find neutral spine, neutral pelvis. So if your back is super tight, you're going to sit up on a block or you're going to bend those knees a bit. Yep. Hamstrings or back. It can be either that are tight. Go 2 more little windshield washers. And then hold the feet pushing out. So your toes are just kind of pointing to the sky. So not pointing way out and they're not dumping in. Take your band, and this is why I like a long band again. My hands get sore, so I wrap so that I trap the band in my palm, and then I actually don't have to death grip. From here, I'm going to row. Now, if that's not tight enough, wrap again and row. And just give a nice strong pull. I'm fighting my band this morning. On those shoulders. Let's go for 5. Elbows come in low. Wrists are strong. Don't try and overreach with the wrist. The wrist is just staying strong as an extension from the elbow joint. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Hold the squeeze for a moment and then let it go through. Exhale, hold, and let it reach. Sit super tall, finding your paraspinals. Go 2 more. And last one, now pulse it back. Let's go 8, 7. Try and squeeze your shoulders together. 4, 3, 2, 1, let it go forward, unwrap those hands, and cross the straps. Now, if you're not getting enough resistance, just pull the band tighter in the middle between your feet, and that'll give you that intensity. Take your strapped hand, one hand, and put it on your knee. So one hand on the bottom is on my knee, the other hand I'm going to wrap, the top hand is my rower. So my sits bones stay in neutral, and I'm adding a little bit of what we call spine twist. So I'm just rotating around, but it's kind of a bow and arrow because I've added the elbow. So I'm going to exhale, rotate, inhale, come home. If you look at your feet, one foot, the side you're pulling to, that leg shouldn't get shorter. That means you're moving your pelvis. Move your rib cage, keep your chin parallel to the earth, cut the room in half with your vision. Now go ahead and stay with this hand into your rib. If you're up here, your shoulders are up. Down, down. And now without moving the arm, ribs. Let's go 4, 3, sit super tall, 2, 1, bring it all the way back. Go ahead and let those toes curl in. Round a little bit, get a little lazy in the spine while you switch your lead hand. So I'm going to anchor my one leg to the floor with my hand. There doesn't have to be a lot of tension there. I'm going to wrap the other, push out on those toes, sit super tall, and now I'm into my rotation on the opposite side. So I am pushing out on the feet a little bit, so I feel this line going all the way up. There's a whole line of fascia that runs a lot of different lengths through your body. And when we turn on everything, we find those beautiful lines. Exhale, rotate, inhale, center. Remember when you rotate, hang out there for a second at the deepest part of the contraction, but be mindful to control the return. The eccentric is coming back with control. Don't just fly back. Go 2 more. And last one. Now go ahead and stay in probably a 3/4 rotation. Put that fist into your ribs and just rotate the rib cage, no longer moving the arm. So that shoulder is stabilizing, it's saying hello, but the movement is rib cage. 4, 3, sit tall, breathe in, 2, 1, bring it all the way home, uncross and bring your feet in tight. Feet in tight. Now, if you have crampy feet, you're going to put it more in the arch of your foot. If you're okay, you're going to point your toes into the band. So now I've pointed my toes actively in my band. From here, if you don't have a lot of room behind you, inchworm forward. If you've got room, don't worry about it. Make sure there's nothing behind you. I'm going to scoop my tailbone and get a little bit of a rounding happening there. And then I'm going to bring it up. Now, if my back is sore or my hips are a little tight, I might want to bend my knees and grab behind my knees as well as use the band to give me a bit of assistance. I'm a little tight today. I'm going to grab behind my knees so I get a deeper scoop. When you do this, the top of the sits bones is like the top of a mountain. Roll off the sits bones like you're walking or descending down the back of a mountain partway through to the sacrum. And then inhale, roll it back up, sitting tall, and you feel this clunk, clunk. Those are your sits. If you're okay with straight legs, as you start to get warmer, go ahead and choose that. We're going to roll all the way down. So you're going to hold your band at the very bitter end. If you need to keep your knees bent, go right ahead. Pull the legs in tighter, so the knees are bent, and then tabletop. Put the band in between your legs and give me a frog sensation with your legs. If you want more tension, this is where we're going to wrap. From here, I'm just going to do that extension. I'm going to press out and pull in. So now my heels are together, my toes are apart, I have lateral rotation. I can be on the arch, I could be in pointed toe, up to you. As I press out, the lower is harder. Higher, a little more forgiving. So we're going to press and pull in. We're keeping, because the legs are lifted, a supported spine in this froggy press position. If you feel you can maintain your spine position strong without losing your core connection, by all means go into neutral. It'll be more challenging. Now as I press the legs, I'm going to keep my elbows anchored and I'm going to roll up just a little bit, getting my shoulder blades off. And then I'm going to inhale, roll down. Exhale, press and roll up. Extend those legs fully, pull your abs in, and gently come down. Let's go 4 more, and 4. And pull in. Want a bit more resistance in the legs. Wrap it a little tighter. On this one, it's perfectly fine. And last one. And then bring the legs up, bring them into parallel, sneak that band off, and fold your legs to tabletop. Take the band in equal distances, left and right, over the lower part of your shin. So I'm over the lower part of my shin, closer to my ankle. My legs are slightly apart, and then I'm just going to roll down for a second. So if hundreds is difficult with my neck rolled up, we're doing hundreds FYI, I'm going to take my thumbs, reach through, drop them down, palms are parallel, arms are parallel to the earth. I'm going to start this little paddling or pressing. The shins are start going boop, 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 boop. Keep those nice and strong. Abs engaged, supported spine. If you're okay, roll it up. If you're okay, roll it up. And let's go. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale 2. Notice if your legs are bouncing as you go. 20. Inhale 2, 3. Hold them tight. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 30. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 40. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 50. Inhale 2, roll it up. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 60. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 70. 80. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2. You're almost there. 90. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 100. Grab behind the legs. Roll it down. Take your legs down. Give me some little windshield washers. So I like to take my knee and push it right over so it's almost going into 90-90, and I'm getting a full hip stretch here. So I'm not just sort of la 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 to the sides. I'm actively pressing that knee down. My butt lifts. I get a little gluteal squeeze, but I'm opening up that front hip. I'm just going to rock that from left to right. Inhale, exhale for me. Give me one more little rock left and right. Bring it back into parallel sits, and we're just going to use that band for our shoulder bridge. To start with, the band is going to be in our hands. I'm going to do articulation, so hip rolls more than shoulder bridge. Your heels are lined with your sit bone. Farther out is harder on the hamstring. Closer in, too close is just too close, right? You want a bit of space in that joint. From here, we're going to roll the tailbone off, just the tailbone. As you roll the tailbone off and that sacrum off, you'll feel your glutes squeeze and your hamstrings gently engage, and then push that tailbone right back out to neutral so you have a small space in your back. Go again. If you have a headrest in place, please move it here. You don't need it. Go ahead and roll up a little farther. Notice as you roll up a little farther, your knees start to go out, inner thigh connected, and then roll it down. And then this one, roll it all the way up to high bridge. I like to tuck my chin in, look down my body. Watch here, you haven't hyperextended and you're jammed out and you're not protruding, right? We're down a bit, we're pulled. I do this in a supported spine, that's a me thing. Once you're here, put a bit more pressure into your big toe, baby toe. Don't roll out on your babies. Don't roll on your pinky. Big toe, second toe. And then we're gonna hinge. Hinge down, hinge up. So now I'm no longer moving the spine, I'm hinging. At the top, I want a butt squeeze. Working for you, grab the band, shoulder width distance, pull it a little bit apart, and take it above the head, but don't rest it. Keep your ribs engaged, inhale down, exhale up. So we're just holding the arms, those scaps are pulling down into back pockets. We're squeezing the butt as we lift it, finding those glutes turning on. Let's go 4, and 3, we're going to turn this into butterflies. 2, And one. Now keep it in the up, bring your arms straight over your chest, open up the band a bit, and now you're gonna open and close like flies, like chest work. And then the legs are gonna copy. We're gonna open the knees as we lower the bum and then squeeze the knees right together at the top. Open and close. More resistance for the arms. Get a little tighter with your hand distance on your band. Lower, lift. Really try to get the knees knocking together when you come up. That's a tough one, especially if you have any hip stuff going on. But see if you can get those knees coming together, turning on the inner thigh, the glutes, and the hamstrings. Right, let's go 2 more. And 1. Now keep the knees knocked in, nice and tight, just the arms reaching. Squeeze your butt cheeks on, off. It's tiny, it's tiny. Let's go 8, 7, little breath, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the legs, bring the spine down. We're going into single leg work. Fold one leg up. Take the band. If you're okay, you can go again, if you're not crampy, into pointed foot. I'll cramp on this, so I'm going to go into it wrapped over my foot. Similar tails. I'm going to grab up, wrap once, and then anchor my elbows. So the tension pulling down will be the tension you're putting on your leg as you thrust up. So if you want more tension, higher, wrap, pull, harder, right? Choose where you want to go. So from here, my heel aiming to the sky, if I'm a tight hamstring person, I'm going to have to bend it. That's fine. Or push it out farther. From here, get weight into your support leg and lift your bum up. Lift your bum. Keep it lifted. Make sure your hips are square. And we're just going to lower and lift that leg. Now, if that is tough, you're going to go bend and extend. Bend and extend. Squeeze the glute, that's stabilizing. If this feels okay, you're doing the straight leg. This leg is just throwing our body for a loop. All it's doing is messing with us. And we're trying to stay stable and squeeze the other glute. Go 3 more. And 2. Don't be shy about getting some extension in your hip here. Right? As my leg goes down, there's extension, but stay connected. Now go ahead and leave that leg reach into sky. Tight hamstring, bend it a bit. Lower your bum and thrust up. Lower and thrust. So I can keep my leg in the air the same with a slight bend, or I can thrust and push. Down, thrust and push. Harder is going to be to thrust and push, not to the ceiling, but to the wall at the same angle as your ass that you're working. Press. Let's go 4. Hold tight on that band. Press. And go 3. And last 2. And last 1. Hold it out there. Squeeze that ass. Keep it turned on. Put more pressure into the big toe, second toe. 5, 4. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Home. Home. Bring it home. Ooh. Give a little wiggle there. We're going to do the same sequence, and then I promise we will stretch. All right, so bend that knee in. Pointed toe if you're not a cramper. Again, I'm going arch. I extend my leg up. I make sure my tails are somewhat equal. From there, I'm deciding how high am I wrapping. Totally up to you. Anchor it down. Square up your hips. So as soon as this leg goes into the band, you hip hike the leg in the band. There's a tendency for that hip to come up. Take your sit bone of the leg in the band and reach it to the far wall so you're square. Choose where this foot is. Don't bring it right into your ass. And then from here, power it up. Find your position. Straight to the sky. If you're tight, bend the knee. And we're just going to hold that position where we feel strong. And either it's toe tap, holding constant, or it's kick out, kick in, or it's that straight leg extension. Push it down, bring it up. Squeeze the glute. Remember, you can find some extension here, so I can go a little past my neutral as long as I don't arch. So the hip can go into extension without the lower pelvis, without the pelvis going into extension, right? It is going to stay neutral, which naturally is a little extended. I hope that makes sense. Let's go 3 more. Get your shoulders away from your ears. Tighten up that ass cheek. Go 2 more. And last 1. Now bring it in, and we're going to lower the bum as the knee bends and then thrust up. So if I'm feeling good, I can kick that leg to the sky at the same time. Watch as you kick, you don't change your spine. Harder is kicking out to the wall versus the sky. I want you to really feel your glute turn on and hold out there for a brief moment. Don't just come back down. Go for 4. Get your shoulders away from your ears. 3. Exhale, 2. So this actually is our bridge 3, tier 3, with a few twists and giggles, of course. Now go ahead and hold it here. Squeeze that ass cheek. Don't turn it on and off. Just squeeze it. 5, 4. Breathe. 3. More pressure into your big toe, second toe. Don't roll out on your pinky. 2. And release. Carefully bring the band off. Wiggle it out. So if you have a long band and it's very elastic, we're going to stretch out the hammies. We're going to do flamenco 1, 2, and 3. This is a gravity yoga exercise. Well, stretch. Double it up so it's not so pliable. Take it around the arch of the foot. Just dangle it there. If you have to bend the knee, that's fine. Roll up. Grab it somewhere that when you lie back down, you can just keep your arms straight and then lengthen the leg. So if I'm tight in the hamstrings, I'm rolling up with my leg pushing out that way, and then I'm going to lie back. Because what I don't want to do is pull my leg in and roll my tailbone off. If I roll my tailbone off, I've moved my sit bone, which means that I'm actually losing my stretch. So you're going to pull that in. If you're okay, you can straighten out that base leg. If that's bugging your hip, don't do it. I like a point and flex on my foot. Careful the band doesn't come flying off to your face. Right? What I don't want you to do is bend your elbows with all it's worth to get there. The higher I grab, the more I just kind of dangle my arms, the less my upper body works. And this isn't about your upper body, so just relax it. Grab it with the same hand as foot. Again, it might be way out here. It might be out tall. And then take that leg way off to the side. If your knee is not inviting, bend it a bit, or put a ball or a block underneath the quad area and hold on to that. So you can lift it up and drop it open. You're getting that inner thigh, those adductors, but you're also getting a little bit of that inside hamstring. If you need to counterbalance, you can bend your other leg up and just drop it off to the side. It's perfectly fine. Get a good adductor stretch. Slowly bring that leg up with support. Grab it with the opposite hand as foot. Again, roll up a little bit to find it. And if it's out here, that's fine. And then this bottom leg is best if it's straightened. And I'm going to take it over. So I'm going to get a twist in the spine and a glute and outside hamstring stretch. If I can, I'm going to roll over and look into opposition. Try and relax your bottom butt cheek. Massive big breaths into this rotation for me, you guys. One more breath. You might need to bend the knee to come out of this because of the rotation in the back. If you can bring the leg up straight, please go ahead. But if you can't, you're going to bend that knee. Take the foot off and just kind of give that leg a little wiggle. It should feel a little more release. Take the band around the arch again. Send it to the sky and just kind of determine where is this hip going for stretch, because they're both going to be different for the hamstrings. Roll up, engage, drop down, and then pull that in. So if you've got a lot of flexibility, you may not need the band. You might be able to just grab the foot. Just listen to what your body's sensing. Keep your sit bone or your tailbone down. Ischial tuberosity is reaching to the far wall. If it feels good, you can add that point flex. If the bottom hip is bugging you or the back is bugging you, bend your leg that's not in the stretch. Yeah, we don't want to bend the leg that's in the stretch. So people will modify by bending the leg so that they can bring their leg up higher. The reason we're using the band is so that you can keep your leg straight and reach it away without changing where the sit bone is going. So we don't want to bend it. We want a straight leg on this particular stretch. Grab it with the same hand as foot, wherever you need to, and slowly take it off to the side. Counterbalance, that knee can, the opposite knee can come up and just sort of press off in opposition so you don't roll over. I don't really care if your hips right now are hiking or not. This will not affect this stretch. So if your tailbone is slightly lifted, my bum is up and one ass cheek is right off, whatever, doesn't matter. Couple little breaths there. Try and relax anything that's not working or stretching. Point and flex that foot. Engage the abs, bring it all the way up. Grab it with the opposite hand as foot. Again, if I'm tight, I'm out here. And this is where that's going to go. If I'm okay, I'm higher. If I'm fully okay, I can wrap my hand and bring it across. If you've got that range of motion, go right ahead. Totally up to you. Try and relax your bottom butt cheek, rotate and look in opposition to this movement. Big, massive breaths. One more big breath for me. Either bend the knee to come in if the twisting movement is quite difficult, or straight leg in. Straight leg in is harder just because the lever length is longer, right? So take the band off, grab behind one leg, grab behind the other, and up we come. Beautiful. We're going to get a little mermaid in here just to open up those hips. So I'm going to sit in my mermaid. If the mermaid's hard and I can't get this hip to drop, I'm going to sit up on a block, which will open up my hip a bit. The band, just place it in front. Place this hand down on the ground, but in line with your back greater trochanter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my hip and lower. So my other hand is on my hip, and I'm asking it to sit. So for me to get that hip to go down, I've got to slouch back a little bit. That's okay. Go right ahead. If it feels okay, when you come up, you're actually going to lift and push the hip out a little bit. And you guys know if you can go full, you got it, Kylie. If you know the full one, go for it. So I'm going to lift up. It's feeling good. I'm going to push my pelvis forward. I'm going to open. I'm starting to extend, and that's where we're going next. So I'm going to drop it down, and then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to lift it up. Yes, the one butt cheek is assisting the movement. You're pressing your hips. Hold here for 5, 4, abs in a little bit, 3, 2, 1, sink it down, find your mermaid, and we're just going to take that hand lined up with the greater trochanter, open this shoulder and turn and face. Now the butt cheek's lifted. It can be down here with your hand, smaller back, or reaching is harder. I'm going to come down with my tricep. If I do not lift my back leg, I will have to flex. I've done enough flexion. Spine nice and long, lift that back leg, put weight into your tricep of that front arm, and squeeze that little booty. If it's feeling good, you can kick that leg out. Now, I can't do this next option, but I could come up and leave my leg long and straight. Now, I can do it, but I can't come very high. But if you can come up and you can get a really nice extension there through your spine, please go ahead. Go 3 more. And go 2. Tuck that elbow in tight. And last one. And then come all the way up. Grab this foot. Push the heel into the bum. If your knee will invite. If it doesn't invite, straighten this leg out and go into lateral flexion the opposite way. If that knee will invite, go ahead and leave it tucked. And then rotate down to the floor a little bit. Bring it out of your rotation. Bring it all the way out of your lateral flexion. Sneak those legs in the opposite direction. And just wake up this hip. Sink it, lift it. Sink it, lift it. See how it's responding. If you know it's responding well, up you go. You know the movement. I drop, and then I maybe do a baby lift. So for me, I'm apprehensive on my adductors, and this is the one that pulls more aggressively, and it's getting a big stretch. So if you're apprehensive on a muscle group that jumps in, go slow. Doesn't mean you can't do it. You just need to listen to it. If you can move faster in that movement, by all means go ahead, but stay connected, right? Let's do one more, and then we are going to stay with that press out. If you can push your hips a little higher than me, please go right ahead. And let's go ahead and hold 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring it down with control. And then sneak yourself into your full mermaid. Rotate the spine. Hand goes down by the sit bone, slightly out, not too far. And then just go ahead and start that little push-up. Narrow grip triceps, right? I want to keep my spine in neutral, which means I have to lift that back leg. I got to engage that glute again. Feeling good, hand goes into the small of the back. Still feeling good, that arm reaches. Still good, you're kicking it out. Really good, you're keeping it extended the whole time. And lift. The hand on the floor can come off to give you a little more lift of the heart in the up position. Let's go 2 more. And last one. And then come all the way out. Tuck that heel in. Drop the bum down. Knee not inviting, straighten out the leg. Go into your lateral flexion. Add your rotation. Back to lateral. And come all the way out into extension. Unwrap your band. and it's going to go into the small of the back. So you're just going to roll over onto your bellies. You're going to line your feet up with the corners of the mat so that you know left and right are equal, and then pull your pubic bone down and make sure you're in the middle from left to right. Take that band just gently into the small of the back and just leave it there. Even if you've got the flexibility to interlace the hands for double leg kick, right? So full double leg kick is arms this way and then the hands just extend open. If your shoulders won't do it, you're going to use the band. If your shoulders will do it, still have the band there, because the second exercise you're going to need it. So find yourself in parallel, laterally rotated, open as comfortable. Doesn't have to be massive. This isn't swan. This is our double leg kick. Turn one cheek so that your ear plugs into the floor. Now that's a big neck rotation. That might be tough. May not be able to go that far. Take your hands. If you can, you're going to interlace them and then let your shoulders drop down and your elbows drop. So if this is not achievable, don't fight yourself. Use the band, drop your elbows. So in this position, I'm going to flex my heels, pull in your abs, and pull the heels into my bum for 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. As I reach my legs away, I'm going to activate my glutes, my abs, my hamstrings. I'm going to reach the arms, and I'm going to come into a center extension. Glutes, hamstrings, back, everything. Tendency is to look up. The neck is in line with the rest of the spine. Now turn your cheek. We're going slow. Slowly start to bring your heels in. There's a bungee cord from heels to hands. It goes into the small of the back. You relax your elbows, but not your abs. And we go 1, 2, 3, press out. So it's inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale. If a reverse breath feels natural for you, go for it. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale. Pull those abs up. Don't push them into the floor. One more time. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold it here. Back is firing. Pull your abs in stronger or lower everything down slightly. Put the feet down for a moment and just give me shoulder extension. So now grab your band if you don't have it and reach and lower. Pull the abs in, lift the heart, challenge the thoracic and the cervical extension while keeping the lumbar, the sacrum in that nice neutral. Nice neutral. Let's go 3 more. Your natural neutral. 2 more. And 1. If you need a break, go ahead and take it. Otherwise, legs are joining the arms. The legs are reaching, not lifting. So think reach and bring it down. Squeeze the glutes, straighten the legs. Reach. So hip joint is in extension and shoulder joint is in extension. These are tough. Let's go 3 more. Pull your belly button off the floor. In theory. 2 more. And then hold it here. You got a nasty set of 5. Get your shoulders away from your ears. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Push back into child's pose. Or if your back is feeling good with that extension, just come up tall. So the natural tendency for most people in extension work is to go rounding after, which is a lovely recovery, but sometimes it's indicative of showing that we are dominant to rounding, and we need to be able to slowly learn that this neutral position is where the back should exist, all right? So when we do crunching work, most of us don't want to automatically arch, but when we do extension work, all of us want to round. So it's quite an interesting dynamic if you think about it. So we're going to go thread the needle. Don't worry about your band, just place it. Hands nice and strong. I tweak the hands here. I'm going to open them wider and bring them closer in towards my legs. Then I'm going to take, and I'm also actually going to, when I do it, I'm going to slightly internally rotate so the shoulder's coming in a bit, but that makes this movement more natural. So then I'm going to roll and I'm going to fold this arm by your back leg as far as I can. See if I can get my shoulder down. If I can't get my shoulder down, I could put the pad there so I can rest my shoulder, peek up to the sky. Working for you, this hand comes up and it binds. So I'm looking for that rotation. If I can't get the shoulder down, you do not lift the arm. Take a couple breaths into that rotation. You need the shoulder down. We're not weight bearing, all on the neck and head. Couple really good breaths here. If it feels okay, sneak the hand down, straighten out the leg closest to the arm that's reaching through, and then rotate. Feel that opener. Nice big breath here. And then bring the hand down, slowly bring the leg in if you chose that. Come all the way out. Give your head a little no. Give it a little yes. Hands come back, internally rotate a little wider than your knee stance. Fold the hand through, down goes that shoulder, and kind of almost like you're doing a shoulder roll. So if I think about it and I push off the floor, I could go into a nice shoulder roll here, right? A safety shoulder roll. Put that hand, anchor it, rotate your shoulder around. You're gonna feel that beautiful stretch to the neckline, or horrendous, depending on how tight you are. If you want to straighten out that leg, you can get a little more action into there. Massive breaths here, guys. Big, big, big. And then hand down, knee in, push away with power. And again, a little no on the neckline. That would be a yes, but just go with it. And then a little yes. Since I screwed it up, I'll just screw it up all the way through. And then feet engaged. Go ahead and grab your mat if you want. I slip. When I start getting warm, I slip, so I grab. And then I'm coming up, and I'm just paddling it out. Paddle that out. Move those toes. Those feet need love. We need to pay attention to them. If those feet in your gait are off, everything else is off. It's a given. Everything else is going to get skewed. So go ahead, drop the heels and drop into it. Too tight, lift the heels, bend the knees. Walk your hands slowly into your feet. Grab your band as you go if you're able to. 4, 3, all the way in and 2 and 1. Heel toe wider. Give me that little rag doll. Instead of looking to the floor, look through your legs so your neck is at a totally released position. If you want it unsupported, go ahead and dangle there. Here I like to sway a little body weight from front of heel to back of toe, right, and just kind of move. It's not releve per se, it's just shifting. And then slowly come all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Give a little no in the neckline. And we're just going to do one little chest stretch, just because to make sure those chests are open. I've come around the back, and I'm just going to fold that open. Now, if going lazy here with the hands in the band is too much, so I'm just kind of going lazy on my abs, I'm not squeezing my bum or pulling my abs in. If that's too much, put your hands on what would be PSIS, which is those 2 little dimples that you see in people's back, and they just kind of sink there. If you can let the chest go, go ahead. If that's hard, don't. If this is really deep for you and unsupported is not happening, you can come to the wall, get in close, put your pubic bone on, and then just go a little Gumby. Slight bend to the knees. When you're good, gently come out of that. You can just toss that off to the side. Find your sits bones. Nice big inhale. Let's lift the heart to the sky. Exhale, hands down, center heart. Give a little wiggle. Let's go the other direction. Open your clamshell. Stretch it around. Bring it all the way through. And we are done.